Let's get started. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Everybody, if you can join me and say the Panchatakwa prayer and the Hare Krishna Mahamantra once. Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama
Rama Hare Hare
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Vinasha Narasimha Iti Namini Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschati Deshatarini Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayatim Girim Yat Kripatamaham Vande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Brahmananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Tat Sat. So Hare Krishna, everybody. So we have, let's see how many of you, 9 of you here today. Okay, probably the rest will come a bit later. It's not a good thing to come late, so good to be on time. So previously we have talked about what we want, what we wish for. So some of you or many of us would have what we wish for falling in these 5 categories. Either we want to have power, we want to be the leader, we want to be the boss, right? Or we want to look very nice, or very, in the way we want to look. So beauty. Or we want to be very famous, popular, everybody glorifies us, like that. Or we wish for something like to be, this is quite rare, but people may wish that they are so intelligent, that they are genius, that they will, without studying, they can do well in their exams. And some people, majority also, would want opulence. Opulence means money, wealth, land, so this kind of things. But at the same time, we also talked about how it depends on the type of people. What people want and the level that people want depends on the level of state they are in. For example, if you ask a homeless person, a beggar, what do you wish for, right? So you may find that they will just wish for something, it's relative. They would say, I wish I had a warm meal, I wish I had a place to stay. So like that, you ask somebody who has these things, what do you wish for? He has money, he has food, he has a place to stay. Then they will say, may I wish that all this will remain with me for all time. So they want security. and I wish that nobody can take it away from me. So they want safety. So other people who have these safety and security may wish for other things. They would then ask for, okay, they are very secure, they are very stable in their position. Then they may ask for, let me have friends, let me have a good family. So like that. Those people who have them, or those people who don't value them, they may ask for, I want to be the most important person. I want to feel, I want to create something. I want to make something new. So people will always sing about me. So, that is esteem needs. So then there is also people, this is very rare, self-actualization. These are people who want to have a very worthy goal in life, something which will take their whole life. So we talked about these things, and then we talked about what is the purpose of these things. Why do people wish for these things? Why do people wish for power? Why do people wish for beauty or fame or knowledge or opulence? Why do they want these things? Because ultimately, no matter how you turn it, right? They want to have happiness. So they think, the problem here is they think that these things give them happiness. Power, beauty, fame, knowledge, opulence, and all that. They think it gives them happiness. So another popular answer is also, people think that it will give them peace. But peace is just the basis for happiness. First you have peace, then you can have happiness. What do you build on top of peace? You build happiness on top of peace. So that is what everybody is looking for. So we talked about this, and we established how people are looking for happiness everywhere, but they don't know where this happiness is. They think it's in power. They try their whole life, but they find that it's not in, the happiness is not, the happiness they are looking for, it's not in power. Why? How do we know this? Because they're not satisfied. How do we know they're not satisfied? Because we see successful people, rich people, beautiful people, famous people, intelligent people, they all are, some of them, many of them famous, we know they are unhappy because they have committed suicide, and they have complained, and they have given lots of, they have written so many books about where happiness is not achieved by these things. So therefore, we just a bit of recap of what we talked about last week. We know where happiness is not found. We know that material success is just an illusion. Why? Because we talked about how the efforts are it's very, you need a lot of effort, isn't it? You need to study so much, you need to work so much, you need to build so much. And then the rewards which you can get out of it is flickering. Flickering means it's very temporary. Just short happiness. It's not lasting. It's not something which completely encapsulates your mind. So it doesn't last. It's temporary. It sometimes, many times, it becomes stale. You get bored of it. You want something new. And then we also have limited capacity to enjoy. For example, if someone gives us a huge forest or a huge seaside beach, it's all ours. We cannot enjoy it to the extent that we want to. Meaning that we cannot be in everywhere at the same time, right? For example, if someone gives us food, we can't really eat everything. We can only eat something. So then we get full. Then we get too much food. I need to throw away. So it's also illusory, temporary distraction. And oftentimes, these things, this power, fame, beauty, and all that leads to a lot of extra problems and extra worry. And always there is dissatisfaction because we find no matter what we have, the grass is always greener on the other side. And also, sometimes what we have requires a lot of maintenance, high effort for maintenance. And even though we put this maintenance, things begin to fade. It begins to deteriorate. It begins to go out of fashion. It's no longer the in thing, right? And also you find that other people, despite all that you have, are not very impressed about what you have. They may show, but inside they are actually burning with envy. And when we have envious people, we are very foolish if we surround ourselves with envious people, because they become our secret enemies, waiting for our downfall, or sometimes even plotting for our downfall. So someone always has better. We will never be the top dog or the best, because there will always be someone better and better and better. It just depends on who we hang out with. And the best part is the proof of the pudding. Those people who have these things are not happy. So I showed in the previous class how so many people are committing suicides. Those people who have them, they all kill themselves eventually. Why? So the pursuit of happiness. So many people, psychologists, modern scientists, they have actually studied about happiness, where to get happiness. Now the chemists, they have said that happiness lies in certain hormones, right? But we won't talk about that today. It's true, but let's go on other aspects. So this person, Carol Graham, she's a famous psychologist. So she says increasing levels of income and income growth tend to be accompanied by rising expectations. People tend to expect more. The higher they are, the higher their expectations are. The type of friends they hang out with, the type of expectations become higher and higher as you go. So this leads to related frustrations. And then we have Benjamin Franklin, a very famous historian and political figure in America. Money has never made man happy, nor will it. There is nothing in its nature to produce happiness. The more of it one has, the more one wants. So it becomes sort of a cycle. Why? It's like this. It's like desire, or the desire is like fire. It even rhymes. Desire, fire, right? So how do you satisfy desire? Do you satisfy desire by giving it what it wants? So if desire is like fire, how do you satisfy fire? Do you give it more fuel? If you give more fuel to the fire, what happens to the fire? Does it become satisfied? Fire is always asking, right? I want more fuel, give me more fuel. I want to burn more. But the more you give, the more it burns, the bigger it becomes. So, and then you find that from small fuel, it wants big fuel, and it's not satisfied. So the same thing with desire also. So just like Ravana, we just had Ram Navami recently. So what is Ravana known for? Ravana is known for someone who cannot satisfy his desire. He had a lot of unnecessary desires. He had the best of kingdoms. He had the best of land. He conquered all the devas. He tried to build a staircase to heaven. So he did all these things. He had many wives. He was a very lusty person also. He had many wives. He tried to rape even so many ladies. He even did that. And despite all the so many thousands of ladies living with him in his palace, who were captured and abducted and kept there by force, many of the most beautiful people in the world, but still, when he even just heard about the beauty of Sita from Suparnaka, his sister, he became completely enraptured by her description of her beauty. And he decided he must steal. And because of that, he lost his life. So this is Ravana, never satisfied. He had so many, but never satisfied. So that's the problem with desire and with lust. So where is happiness then? So there are, as I told you, this is a London School of Economics, a very famous university. So there is a famous team there. According to a study by a team of researchers led by Lord Richard Layard, a very famous scientist, social scientist. So he said, after a very lengthy, expensive survey and study, they found a person's happiness is based on their personal relationships as well as their physical and mental health. Physical and mental health is to support the personal relationships. So the scientists say that relationships is the basis of happiness. What do you think? Do you all agree? Come, you want to unmute yourself and start talking? You can either chat or you can speak. Somebody? Anybody? Nobody?
Please respond.
Wait, hold on, my mic is very soft. Something's wrong. Okay, yeah, could you repeat what you just said? Do you agree with this statement? Don't be afraid. Just tell me what you think. Everybody agrees, is it? Come.
Okay,
No
Abai,
feedback.
why don't you try responding? Abai Charan?
Yes,
Just a
yes,
moment.
Mataji.
Okay,
I agree.
so Abai says he agrees, Prabhu.
Okay, done. Okay, I'm not sure what is wrong. Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Hare Krishna. Yes,
Yes, Prabhu.
Shaktivel. Okay, thanks for telling me. Right. So, anyone, do you all agree with this statement or not? A person's happiness is based on their personal relationships.
Yes, Prabhu. Prabhu, your mic is off.
Oh, I'm not. Okay. I was muted just now. Sorry.